Masculinity is painful. It hurts. And that's, you have to learn to rise above and get on top of your masculinity so you can wield it. And then that pain turns into energy, and you can use it to do it's very, very powerful. If you get on top of the pain, it transforms it into unbelievable energy. But you have to get on top of the pain, and you have to go through the pain, and it hurts like the devil. And bullying, it's a very, very important component in masculinity, where the older males bully the younger males and give them an opportunity to stand up to their own masculinity. And if they stand up to the bullying, then they're accepted into the fold, because then they are a man. They're someone that other men can count on, and they, in a painful situation, they have proven they could rise above it. And if they can't do that, then they can't be part of the group, and they're just left with the pain, and they never get into and that's what happens to the transsexuals, is they can never get on top of their masculinity and find the good part of being a male. They can't get past the pain, and it's just pain all the time. And they look at women and they think, they don't hurt all the time, and they don't. There's the yin and the yang. Life is half pain, half pleasure, and the women are the pleasure side. And yes, we have some pleasure, and the women have some pain, but in general, it's much more painful to be a male. And then we have this whole world where we're like, oh, pain is bad. Pain is very good. Pain is very helpful. It's half the world. It's what motivates us. It's how we move forward as a species and do all sorts of unbelievably fantastic things. But the transsexuals want to be a woman because they can't get out of the pain, and they can't feel anything else. And that's the only other place to go in this binary world that we live in of male and female. And so they see women and they think, well, that's what I want to be, because I have to get out of this nightmare. And that's legitimate. They can't help it. They've had things happen in their life that have prevented them from getting on top of their masculinity. And a lot of them do very masculine things. Bruce Jenner becomes this wonderful athlete to try to get on top of his masculinity, but that wasn't it. He couldn't find that thing in himself that allowed him to embrace what he was, and so he had to try to be something else to feel better. And that's understandable. There's no reason to be ugly to these people, but it's also a psychological problem. And we need the males that can stand up to their masculinity to, solidify and use that solidity, that collective energy to do the great things that humanity does. And some of those great things are destructive, and atom bombs and aircraft carriers. It's not all happiness and good. And some of it is, air conditioners and jet airplanes. It's a mix, just like the whole world is half pain, half pleasure. And this idea that we're going to get to some place with only pleasure is not only false, it's not even a good idea, because that would be the most boring place you ever lived in your life. Pain is fun. Pain makes things exciting. Pain motivates you to do things. The world is, that we have, and back in the day when we created this whole ideal of let's get to a pleasure place, that's where we were living in a world where most of the children died. Usually your wife died in childbirth. There was people were not fed. There were hungry children everywhere, and you saw that you didn't wonder if there was going to be pain, and we got on top of a lot of that pain. And now our lives are psychologically painful, but physically we've gotten most of our problems taken care of, with medical science, and aging's still a problem, let me tell you. But pain and pleasure are part of the world, and they're here to stay. And it's time, in our evolution, for us to realize that and see how they work together and start using all that to our advantage.